Hello everybody in the virtual village hall, and thank you so much for joining me today for a very festive seated swans class. Now of course when you say, well, I received the brief of this session, they said we want it to be Christmassy, which when you say Christmas to a ballet dancer, there is only one ballet that springs to mind, and that is the Nutcracker. So of course today we're going to have a little bit of Nutcracker, we will have some Christmas as well. But it's going to be a really nice seated session. First of all, as well, I want to say welcome to my new teaching space, which I hope you like, and my beautiful Nutcracker Christmas tree as well. So rather appropriate that we've got the Nutcracker tree in place for a little bit of a Nutcracker themed session. So this is a seated session. You will need a chair. I have my chair there. And just make sure it's nice and sturdy, ideally without arms at the side, but if it's the only option, then that's fine. Just make sure it's nice and sturdy as well, your chair. Just check you've got lots of space around you, that you're not going to kind of, knock over anything, check the dogs out of the way, those sorts of things. And we will get started. Today's a nice straightforward session. If you've done my seated sessions in the virtual village hall before, welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. And if this is your first session in the virtual village hall, I really hope that you enjoy it. So the warm-up that we're going to start off with is really straightforward. It just gets us moving and, as the name implies, gets us warm. And then we will go on to some more specific exercises, which, like I said, I've got a bit of a Christmas and Nutcracker theme. So let's begin. So I will go back to my chair. And also just to mention as well, if you want to have some water ready, feel free to obviously take a break whenever you need to. Don't push beyond your capabilities, and as I said, take a break. This is recorded, so anytime you want to access this session back, you can do. It is saved in the virtual village hall, so that means you can access it back on Facebook or on YouTube, so you can pause it even midway through the session, think that's enough for today, and then you can access it again tomorrow. You can always have a nice time and dance it all again tomorrow. Right, let's get started with our warm-up. So I'll just start off by saying, when we sit on the chair, we want to sit in the middle of the chair, feet nice and flat on the floor. Just be careful your legs aren't wrapped around. If you feel like you need the support of the back of the chair, then pop yourself right back so that the whole of your back is supported, not that you're kind of curved and it's only the mid-back that's touching. So I'm going to sit in the middle of a chair, feet nice and flat on the floor. And this warm-up is so straightforward, I don't even have to explain anything in advance. Let's have a go with music. Okay, so we're going to start off rubbing your shoulder. And all the way down your arm, into your hands, we're building up the heat. And we'll do some squidging. And now some tapping. All on the same arm, just focusing on this one arm. Let's do a big brush. And another big brush. Okay, same on the other arm. And rub that shoulder all the way up and down the arm. Back to those hands again. It's that time of year where hands are always really cold. And some squidging. And now tapping. All the way from down inside and outside of the arm, and big brush. And big brush. Good. And if you just relax for a moment, you can maybe feel your arms are a little bit tingling, a little bit buzzing. That's great, that means it's worked. Let's go on to the legs. Same again, please. Okay, let's begin with the thigh. And off we go. And up and down, front and back, around the knee, front and back of the calf, and some squidging, and tapping and patting, really waking up all those muscles, and big brush, same again, big brush, other leg, off we go, so rubbing, and around the knee, and front to the point that I'm actually going to take my jacket off already. So I thought I'd put on a pink jumper today to match my Nutcracker Christmas tree. Okay, let's pop that down there. Right, so for our first exercise we're going to take. Now, if you've taken my sessions in the virtual village hall, maybe you just watched them before. I'm normally the Silver Swans teacher in the virtual village hall. I've done beginner classes, I've done classes for people with previous ballet experience. I also teach dance for Parkinson's in here, and today I'm doing seated swans. Now, for a ballet dancer, the first exercise that we always take is our pliés. Now, plié means to bend, and that normally involves us bending our knees, which obviously we can't really do when we're in a seated position. But what we can do is we can sort of change that translation a little bit and just take the meaning of bending and let's put it onto a different part of our body. So, feet flat on the floor, hands relaxed on your legs. And we're going to ripple down through our spine. So your head is going to go down first, then your shoulders, then we ripple down through the spine, then we're going to ripple back up. Think of each bone in your spine building back up again. Then we'll go down again, rippling down through your spine and back up. Good. Now we are going to take our arms, because often with a port de bras, gave it away there. Often with a plié, we also do a port de bras. Now, port de bras means carriage of the arms, so this is focusing on our arm movements. So we're going to take our arms into first position. Now, first position is a lovely round shape in front of us. We'll open them out to second position, which is a really nice wide shape. It's got a little bit of a curve in front, and actually, I was saying this last night, that if you look at the shadows on the floor from my arms, you can actually see the curved shape of my arms here. If I make them straight, you can see the shadows are really straight on the floor. If I curve them, you can see how my arms are curved in front of me. If I lean forwards there. So, and then we can watch them as they lower down. And then this time we'll take our arms to first, and we're going to go up to fifth position. Opening to second, and back down. We'll take some shoulder rolls, get rid of the tension in our shoulders that we tend to build up over the Christmas period. All the stress of everything when it comes down to Christmas. So we'll get rid of all that tension. It'll be worth it in the end. And then we will take a little side bend. So we'll take one arm to first, out to second, up to fifth. Now relax this hand down by your side, thinking of keeping both sides of your bottom on your chair. We'll take a little bend from our waist and coming back up again. Arm first, out to second, arm up to fifth, both sides of your bottom stay on the chair. And then we reach over and back up again. Don't worry, I'm going to dance this along with you so we can enjoy it. Let's go, feet nice and flat on the floor, and let's take our plié and port de bras to In the Pine Forest music from the Nutcracker, which is one of my favourite pieces of music from the Nutcracker, and you'll see why. It's beautiful. And rippling through the spine. And rippling back up again. And rippling down. Think of each bone in your spine, how it's working. And back up. Okay, now let's take our port de bras. So arms go to first position. Out to second position. And lowering down. Arms go to first position. All the way up to fifth position. Opening out. And lowering down. Shoulder rolls. Nice and slow. Take your time. 2. Let's go the other way. And 1. Nice big slow shoulder rolls. We're getting ready now for your sideways port de bras. Okay. So 1 arm to first. Out to second. Up to fifth, hand down by your side, little bend. it. And reaching over. And let's finish off. Just take a moment. And just check in with your posture. Shoulders down. Nice long neck. Feeling as though the middle of your head is pushing up towards the ceiling. Lovely. Okay, a nice moment of calm during, like I said, the very busy and sometimes stressful Christmas period. Okay, we're now going to take a hand exercise because one of my favourite scenes during the Nutcracker is the snow scene. And this is where some ballet companies, I'm thinking San Francisco Ballet Company here, really go to town with the snow, with the amount of snowfall that they use. And so we are going to do the snowflakes. Now, some ballet companies, they actually have little props of like, look almost like cotton wool balls on sticks for like tree branches, they look almost like, to represent the snow. And some of them, they just use their hands, and we're going to use our hands. So, and I thought this would be great to really work it in with a little hand exercise. So we're going to lift our arm up, and we'll just take it over. We can just take a little bit of a bend if we want to. And then we'll watch this hand as it falls, and we're going to have snowflakes falling. You're going to fill your house with snow, but it's like really beautiful snow, not like that slushy mess that you get sometimes. Let's say it's like this beautiful dream-like snow. So arm goes up, and a little bend, and watch it as it falls down. Now let's fill our room with snow. So we're going to go elbow, wrist, fingertip. Let's have another go at that. Elbow, wrist, fingertip. So it's actually the heel of your hand that is leading the way. So it's, imagine you're pushing against something, but it's going to be very soft. Elbow, wrist, fingertip. Have a go with the other hand. Elbow, wrist, fingertip. Elbow, wrist, fingertip. So we're going to go across in front of us and open. Let's go with the other hand. Across in front of us and open. Now let's take a big circle of our arm. Imagine you're throwing the snow into the air. Big circle of the arm. Big circle of the arm. And one more big circle. And then there's this move that the dancers always do in snowflakes. We make a diagonal line. We swap. And then we'll do a little shimmy of the hands. Swap. And then a little shimmy of the hands. Swap. And then a little shimmy. And swapping. And then a little shimmy. So we've got lots of different arm movements here that I've taken directly from the ballet company's versions of the snowflake. And it's perfect for us really waking up our arms, getting our posture working, which of course a lot of seated exercises really help our posture because we're really supporting ourselves as we're doing all of these arm movements. So very good for your back, your core muscles, and of course our arms. And our hands. That's what this exercise is all about as well. So let's begin now with our snowflakes. Off we go. So one hand up, 2, 3, and let's watch it as it falls. Other hand up, and over, and let's watch it as it falls. We'll repeat the same again. And twinkly fingers. Lovely. Up and little bend. And watch it as it falls. Fill your room with snow. 1, 2. 1, 2. 2. One more. Okay, let's throw our snow into the air. 1. Same again. 1. One more time. Throw the snow as it falls. It's not that horrible cold. It's just beautiful and sparkly. Off we go. Diagonal. 1. Swap. And let's do a little shimmy. And let's swap. And shimmy. enjoyed being in the part of the snowflake scene there from the Nutcracker. Okay, our next one. So we focused a lot on our arms here. Now it's time for our legs and feet. And I thought, well, this is going to be all about feet, so maybe Step Into Christmas is a really good piece of music to use for this. So I've got a great version of Step Into Christmas for this. So we're going to really focus on our legs and feet. Our arms can have a rest for a moment while we're doing this. We're going to start off by taking our tondus. So a Batman tondu in ballet is, tondu means stretched. So basically it's us pointing and closing our foot. So I'm going to slide my foot until it points in front and I'm going to close it back in. So it slides until it points and then it closes back in. Think almost like planting a seed and then it grows into a flower. That's your foot. So I'll turn to face the side so you can see. So it grows into a pointed foot and then we slide it and close it back in. And then it grows into a pointed foot and then we slide it and close it back in again. And I think we have 4 of those. Yes, we do. Yes, we do have 4 of them. Then we're going to go into our grand battement, which is a development from a battement tondu. So we're going to point our foot in front. Now let's lift the leg into the air, pointing and closing, pointing and lifting and pointing and closing. Very good for strengthening your thighs, your quads in particular. Let's have another go at that. Pointing, lifting, pointing and closing. Pointing and lifting and pointing and closing. Okay, and then, like I said, it's Step Into Christmas. So we'll do a little bit of marching, basically we describe this as. And it's really good for our arms, our legs, our coordination. It's also a little bit of cardio in there as well. So we're going to begin with our arms swinging. Like you're going for a hike somewhere, okay? Be careful your arms don't go out to the side. We want one hand forward, one hand back. Think almost like a steam train. But obviously not going around in circles, yeah? It's going forwards and backwards. Okay, and we'll take a few counts of that. And then we'll take a few counts of just our legs. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. And now this is the coordination part I was on about. Now I know when I do this with my own, I run Silver Swans and Seated Swans classes every week live on Zoom. And when I teach this to my Zoom class for my Seated Swans group, this is the moment that challenges everyone. Because as you lift up your right foot, it would be your left hand that needs to go in front and we're in opposition. We're trying not to have same arm as leg. We want to try and have opposition. If it ends up being same arm as leg, it's not the end of the world, but it is really good to try and practice coordination. So just as you've done your arms, you've done your legs, and then you want to think, and opposite, 1 and 2 and 3, and I think it's 16 then that we do, okay? So we begin with our tondus, then we have our grand battements, and then we take our arms, which I always forget what comes first, actually, in my own groups. I always forget whether it's arms and legs, but it is arms. I'm determined to remember it today. My own Silver Swans, if they're watching this, they're probably laughing because they know that I always forget that it's arms that come first. Then it's the legs, and then it's arms and legs together. Okay? So, it's time for us to go with music for Step Into Christmas. Okay, let's have a go. So we're going to point and close and point and close and point and close and point. Now we're going to lift. So point, lift and close. Let's go with the other leg. Okay, arms. Off we go. 1. Swinging. Now your legs. Both together. We're trying for the opposition. Don't worry if it takes you a little bit longer to sort it out, but that's fine. Just get going. Good. Yeah, don't worry if it takes a moment of thinking of the opposite. That will speed up over time, that coordination. It is hard. It's good to challenge our coordination. I think we should try that again because it's really, really good for us, that. Okay, let's go. Sorry, music issues. Give us one moment. There we go. And point. And close. And point. And close. And point. And close. Point. And close. Point and lift. And close. Same again. Point and lift. And now it's your arms. And arms. Looking forwards and backwards. Now your legs. Get ready for your arm position. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going. You want to go a little bit slower than that's fine. Good. Well done, everybody. Have a little drink if you want one. I'm just going to go and grab a quick drink. And then we are onto a piece of music that I am sure you have heard before. And I'm sure it needs no introduction as well. Give me one moment. Right, here we go. Here's our piece of music. Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy, of course. The role that every ballerina's dream. But it's actually a very, very difficult solo. I've just been teaching, I also have online adult classes, and I've just actually been teaching Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy to them, thank you. And it's a hard dance. It's long dance, and it's quite complex as well. Very difficult counting as well. So as much as it looks very magical and beautiful, it's actually quite a tricky solo, is Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy. Right, okay, so we are going to wait for the introduction. And these arms I've actually taken from the choreography. We're going to gesture our hand down, palm up. Then we're going to bring it into our first position, like we learned at the start. Take it out. Then we'll raise both arms up and down. Let's go the other way. Palm up. Into first. Palm up. And down. And what's happening at this moment, the dancer is doing a little, what we call beats, where the foot basically goes in and touches the other ankle. And out. And down. One more time. Out. And in. And out. And down. Now, on this next section, we lift both arms up. And they come down to wrist crossed in front. And we do a little swish. And we swish. And then we go again. Arms up. And you'll see the dancer do these arms. She does a little jump. And she brings her feet down. And then we lift them up. And then she does this little flick with the feet on these moments. And then we have it one more time. Swish and flick. And then she does this little series of what's called releves. And the arms, I want you to really imagine you are almost like throwing the magic around the room. So we'll go with one hand, the other hand, the other hand, and the other hand. And then that's where the music finishes. Okay? So, should we have a go at that first section, please? We'll go for each section at a time. And out, and in, out, and lifting up and lowering down, and out, and in, and out, lifting up and down. Good, let's keep going. Out, and to first, and out, and lift, and down. One more time. And out, and in, and out, lifting up and down, Okay, thank you. This is now the section of us lifting our arms up and down, and then the swishes. Let's just press play from that. So, we lift our arms. Let's wait for this. Here we go. And down. Then we swish. And we swish. And arms. Swish. And swish. One more time. Lifting up. And down. Swish. Okay, get ready to throw the magic into the air. One. You can throw it anywhere. And out. And out. And that's where we'll finish off. Okay, let's put it all together now. And then when people ask you, how was your day been? You can say, well, I danced the Sugar Plum Fairy today. Let's go with music. And out. And first. And out. Lift and lower. Other hand. And out. And in. And out. Lift and lower. Let's go again. And out. And to first. And out. Lift and lower one more time. And out. And to first. And out. Lift and lower. Okay, arms up. And go. Swishing arms. Swish. And a swish. Arms. And a swish. And a swish one more time. And arms. Swish. Get ready to throw the magic around your room. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lovely. Okay, let's finish off now with our reverence and cool down. So we'll take our hands out and we will take our bow for our performance as the Sugar Plum Fairy. Of course, you can receive all your flowers being thrown at you for your wonderful performance. And then we'll take our cool down, which is really straightforward. I'll just guide you through the cool down. Okay. And one hand. And back. And one hand. The other hand. And back. Okay, hands relaxed on your legs, and if you want to close your eyes, we will go through our cool down now. Okay, so just focusing on your breathing. And relaxing your forehead. Feel all the muscles in your face relaxing. Relaxing your shoulders, feeling all that tension going from them. And relaxing your arms. Just notice the weight of your hands as they rest on your legs. Relaxing your thighs and your knees. Relax your calves. And your feet relaxing, especially your toes. Okay, when you're ready, you want to open your eyes back up again. Good. Hands down by your sides. And we're going to just go into a little stretch. So thumb to your shoulder. Reaching your hand up, and let's take that side stretch like we did before. And opening out, nice steady breathing. And other hand, thumb to your shoulder. 1, lifting up. And reaching over. And coming back up. Let's open our arms out nice and big now. and we're going to beat our arms like big swan wings. So, arms are going to come in, tuck your head between your arms, stretch your back, and open. And in, curving your back, feel that stretch, and opening out, and in, really big wings, and arms lower down, and you can just relax. Lovely. Okay, give yourselves a round of applause. Well done, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. Just a quick reminder that there is the festive celebrations in the virtual village hall tomorrow. There are details of this in the comments that the admin of virtual village hall have popped in. I've signed up for the session, and I'm really looking forward to a nice party. So it would be great to have lots of people there. I went last year and it was fantastic. So don't miss out on the festive celebrations tomorrow. Thank you so much, everybody. Wishing you all a lovely Christmas, and I look forward to seeing you back in the virtual village hall in January. Merry Christmas, everyone.